Yo people, welcome back to another video. It's CMDAV, and yes, we are doing the Bolton video again, the Chronicles volume 2, and we're at the prison this time. This episode, when I was going through it, season 3 episode 11 was a real character development moment for Bolton, so this episode is really important in the growth of Bolton. But obviously in this video I'm just going to be looking at the school trips, so most of the things beforehand and most of the things after I'm not really going to be covering, but I'm going to make sure I make a video on that. If it's not a story time, I'll make a video definitely for this episode. Before you carry on watching this video, make sure you've watched the first part, Bolton School Trip Chronicles, the camping trip. It was a banger, it was a good funny episode. Make sure you watch it, then come back and carry on this video. Let's get into the vid. A bit of context, Bolton and a few others have been taken out of their mock exams to be taken on a trip which will kind of straighten them out. Bolton's excited because he's saying that he's going on a trip while everyone else is doing exams. Dom and Paul are saying that it's not like they're going somewhere fun, they're going to a prison. Bolton says that they'll have fun regardless and tells them that his dad said that the prison they're going to is an easy one. Tarek, Shadid, asked if his dad will be there, but Bolton said nah, he's been moved. And the waffle starts. Bolton carries on with his lies about his dad's prison, saying that his dad has everything like a gym, a pool, a TV, etc. Matt is accompanying them on the school trip with Rachel. The guys start off well by not going into the minibus and airing Matt when he tells them to unlock the door. Okay, let's actually get to the prison now. They arrive at the prison and they're giving rules about the prison and what they shouldn't do. Bolton's not interested at all. They go inside and they have to give their bags since they're not allowed to take them inside with them. They start speaking to one inmate who seems agitated that he can't leave his room. He asks them what they think of the place and Bolton says it's alright, but Rachel tells him he's not supposed to respond. He hears Rachel and starts to call her sexy. The guys start to laugh. He starts to move crazy, saying he doesn't find it funny that they're laughing. Since he's moving more and more crazy, he's trying to get out of his cell, so they escort them quickly into the kitchen. In the kitchen, Paul realizes the food is rubbish and asks Bolton, saying that he thought his dad said the food was good even though it's worse than what Seddon cooks up. Bolton's waffling skills are too quick. He says that his dad gets his mates to cook him something up or the guards get him a Chinese. Dom says yeah right because he obviously doesn't believe him, and Bolton gets defensive and kisses his teeth. The rest of the guys aren't really feeling the prison at all. Dom says that they've seen it for their own eyes that the prison is full of losers. Bolton says his dad isn't a loser. At this rate they don't believe a word he's saying and he's trying to get them to listen, but they just don't trust him. He then goes on about how easy it is to get drugs in prison and convinces them he won't leave the prison empty-handed. Bolton then approaches a prisoner who's working in the kitchen and asks if he's got any gear, but the guy tells him that he doesn't have anything on him. The prison manager arranges for the boys to meet two inmates, one of which was the one that Bolton just spoke to in the kitchen. He introduces himself as Carlton and he says he's inside for possession and intent to supply. Bolton's gassed right now because the guys are looking at him as if he's right. Carlton is explaining how he got into dealing and stealing and Bolton's loving it. Misguided you. Too many kids are like this these days. Bolton then witnesses the other inmate, Rob, attack Matt and looks quite shocked. During this altercation, all the attention is on Matt and Rob. Carlton comes next to Bolton and gives him the drugs that he asked for previously. When they leave the room, Bolton says it was cool, but the other guys tell him to relax since Matt was put unconscious. Rachel tells the boys that Matt has been taken to hospital and tells them that they're going back to school now. Bolton says he's not coming back to school though. He basically says that the crap food and the sob stories isn't going to straighten him out like Rachel hoped it would. While leaving, the prison manager says they need to do another search. Bolton goes from happy to sad so quick. He goes to Bolton first and Bolton refuses to be searched. Rachel asks why and he says he doesn't want to be touched by him. He gets searched anyways and he's found in possession of drugs in his pocket. He's like, that's not mine, and it's the most unconvincing lie I've ever heard in my life. The prison manager asks where Bolton got it from, but Bolton doesn't respond. He's told he's committed a serious offence. Bolton says it's only a rap, but the warden starts to get angry, saying he doesn't tolerate drugs in his prison. He turns to Rachel and says it's only a little bit. She says, no Bolton, like you said, you're not my student anymore. This brother's scared now. He asks what happens now. They take him to a holding cell. They open the holding cell for Bolton and he thinks that he's going to get let out right now. To his surprise, he's joined in the cell by his friend Carlton. Bolton's getting pressured inside, getting called an idiot because he hid the drugs in his pocket. Bolton tells the guy to chill out because there's guards outside, but the response definitely brings a chill down his neck. Carlton says, is there? And then Bolton goes and looks outside and he sees no one's there. And then he realizes there's CCTV camera, but then Carlton reassures him, saying that it's probably not even on. After a while, Bolton's in the corner of the cell, just crying. He starts to bug out and begs to be let out. Bolton is finally outside. Once outside, he plays the big man, but he doesn't know that it was actually staged like Paul and the others do. He goes on a story saying they tried to frighten him. He keeps backtracking and the guys laugh at him. He's confused. They tell him that Carlton's not a murderer and it's not even a prison and it was a setup. Bolton's not believing and mentions Matt who got attacked, and then Matt appears behind him. He tries to save his lives by saying that they wanted to think it was a murder in the cell with him, but he knew. He's annoyed because the persona he's giving off just wore out and he looks like an idiot. That is the end of the video, guys. This prison story is the definition of every man trying to act like the big man until they get into problem. It's such a relatable story. I personally have seen many people act certain ways, but it withers when they get put in a place, and it just showed that Bolton was acting the big man, but when it came to actually facing the consequences of acting the big man by doing the things that he wanted to do, he realizes that he wasn't actually a big man. That's why he was crying in the cell like a little. Thank you for watching the video. Make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, make sure you leave a comment if you liked it or if you didn't like it, and give me some recommendations of videos you want to see in the future. Stay safe, people, and peace.